If 1 minute you believe that your manifestation is working, and then the next minute you feel like your manifestation isn't working, that is going to make your 3D reality confused. Because you're not giving a direct intention, a consistent intention, a faithful, energetic feeling. This is why manifestation takes longer for a few of y'all, or it just don't work, or you feel like you got it and it just, you hold a grip and then it slips off. This is why, because you're not internally faithful about the process. You too off and on. You're wavering. That's what it be, wavering. So your manifestation is, it's not really in for you because you're not really in. Reality cannot give you nothing that you didn't give yourself yet. So if you want to stop that, if you want your manifestation to happen a little bit more faster, then stop confusing the 3D reality. Stop confusing it, because it's going based off you. You're not you're like the teacher, and reality is the 3D reality is the students, and you're the teacher. So like you teach the students, and then they go reflect back to you or what they learned. That's basically how the 3D reality is. It's like internally you make the picture, you write the script, you told reality what it is. Reality don't got a meaning till you give it a meaning. So you told reality what it is, and it's going to reflect it back into you. It mirrors your truth. So if your internal state is fulfilled with confusion, hope, doubt, then it's going to reflect that back to you. You can't hope for something to work. You got to say it is going to work. That is two different perspectives. I say that almost in all my videos. More it is, less I hope. That is a powerful way to manifest. Just stop being so dependent on what you see in the 3D reality also. Because if you know you're rewriting a storyline, then why would you look back at the old story? Why would you not stick to the internal state of your image of what you want to happen instead of what you don't want to happen, which is out here? Obviously, I know you gotta go with your everyday life in the physical world and look in the 3D world. Look in the 3D world. I get it, but in reality, you don't have to be like fixated on it, obsess over it. Like you don't gotta worship this truth. You can say, I know that my internal state is fulfilled with positivity, greatness, abundance. The 3D reality is catching up with my story. Repeat that. The 3D reality is catching up with my story. Say that instead of saying, why haven't it worked yet? It's catching up. Say that instead. That is more powerful than saying, why haven't it worked yet? Because you basically saying it don't exist. And that's not the purpose of manifestation. You have to actually do the opposite. You actually have to embody that person instead of saying or looking too deep into 3D. What I'm saying right now isn't really talked about in society, especially in school, which is weird to me because in school, you're young, so it should make sense that you get taught this at a younger age. So when you get older, it feels more easier to understand. But it's so crazy because, like, it's one of those things that you gotta, like, learn from yourself. And sometimes you gotta really, like, do your own research with this stuff, this knowledge. You know, because it's not really talked about because they're hiding it from you. This is why a lot of successful people is actually blowing up and making money and having a good time, having a good life, is because they embody that version before they actually got the result they was looking for. They kind of like tricked the system in a sense, but they didn't trick it in the physical realm. That's too easy. That's like, you go catch me maybe if I do that. They did it through the spiritual realm, energetically. You see, it's not just this. It's more to this. That's what you got to catch yourself. It's more to this. Catch yourself when you just thinking. And try to, stop yourself from thinking negative and rewrite the story right there and there. Reaffirm a negative into a positive, and make reality shift in your desire. But they didn't teach you this though. So you gotta actually do the research. You gotta actually believe. And I'm not telling you nothing that's religionist. I'm telling you spiritualize, internalize, embody, presently exist spiritually. This is it for the video. All love, all peace, and I'll see y'all in the next video.